Hello and welcome to the Quality of Life podcast, hosted by me, Raha. I was the youngest Arab and the first Saudi woman to climb Everest and the 7 summits. And today we're meeting Khadija. Khadija Kalifa is an entrepreneur who built multiple businesses while navigating life's ups and downs. She runs a growing chain of family cafes with soft play area and a business networking community. You might have seen her on the Apprentice UK too. She's also a mother of 3 beautiful daughters. Khadija, thank you so much for being part of the Quality of Life podcast, in person, Quality of Life podcast. And I'm so excited to get to know your story, your journey. It's such an interesting and colorful one. But of course, a true tradition of the podcast has become to ask, what does quality of life mean to you?
Quality of life means freedom for me. Freedom to be with my children, freedom to travel, freedom and financial security, I think, is what I would define quality of life.
I've never heard that answer. I've had this question for 10 seasons. That's one of the most unique ones.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, I love it.
Thank you.
We get inspired by people in our journey, and you have such an interesting journey when it comes to your life and your background and your family. Who has inspired you? Who are the people that inspired you to be Khadija that she is today?
I guess my dad, for the purpose of the podcast, I'll say my stepdad, but I've always called him Dad. We can go into it after, but my dad
Please
who
go,
raised me.
Go.
Yeah.
Explain how you have a biological father and then you have a dad who came into your life when you were say it.
6
say
months
it.
old.
It's so interesting.
Yeah. So my mum's English, British, and so she had me. And then my biological father's Libyan, and he left for Libya when I was 6 months old and didn't return. And then the dad that raised me is Moroccan, and my mum went on to have 3 children with him.
Wow.
And I guess to protect me, they just never told me that I wasn't one of them.
When did you find out?
I found out once by accident. I think mum had told a school friend's mum, and I kind of found out by accident. He then called the house phone when I was about 10 years old, I think. And I remember just ripping up a photo and saying, no, I have a dad. That's not my dad.
So he was inquiring about your dad.
No, I wasn't. My mum, I think he'd just called and he was inquiring about me.
Okay.
And I was so loyal to my Moroccan dad that I was like, I don't want to know. And then it wasn't until actually about 18 months ago that I started actively searching for him.
18 months ago?
Yeah, at 34.
Wow.
34, yeah. Because I never felt that absence of not having a father. So when you ask who was a big influence, it was my Moroccan dad. And he would teach me about Islam. Hakim taught me the values of Islam. He taught me do not backbite, do not steal. He didn't speak to me once for 3 months because I borrowed some money and I didn't give it back on the date I was supposed to.
Oh.
And he was quite like, if you say you're going to do something, you need to do it. And I think he didn't realize at the time, but him instilling in me those Muslim values has helped me as an entrepreneur, because now if I agree to show up at a podcast, I'm here. If I say I'm paying an investor-backed dividends, I pay them. And that is all thanks to my Moroccan dad.
But it's a great testament to the love of the purity of how much he loved you, that you didn't feel that you weren't his.
Never. And you know what? I've got goosebumps.
It wasn't obvious. That's
Never.
how much he loved you as his own.
I know. And
That's
still, we
beautiful.
text yesterday. Yeah. And still, yeah.
Oh.
And because I was the eldest, and then his first daughter, I guess biologically, is 18 months younger than me. So I think he would teach me the values, and then I could teach the children, you know. And then sadly, him and my mum separated. He went on to have 3 more children.
Mashallah,
so now
you
I'm like
have
the
a lot-
eldest of like 10
You have
different
lots of siblings.
Lots,
Wow.
yeah.
Oh, beautiful. Such a diverse background. It makes you such a colorful person.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Like I could see it in how you speak and how you carry yourself.
Thank
Definitely.
you.
You've lived.
Well,
that
I feel
kind.
really lucky to be able to
Yeah.
have been part of those cultures. And when somebody asks me now, what are you? I'm like, well, I'm British, but I'm also Moroccan and Libyan by blood. Not Moroccan at all, but I have a grandma in Morocco. I have
Obviously.
aunties and uncles in Morocco.
You have siblings.
I have siblings.
that
I
are
have
Moroccan.
culture. Yeah. And now, recently reunited with my biological dad, I'm now learning about Libyan dishes and
Oh.
Libya. So I think that's a big part of why I moved to Dubai.
It takes a lot of courage for you to go and meet him. It's
Yeah.
wow. I'm very fascinated when people have the courage to do that, because not everybody wants to face that. So I'm so proud and so happy for you
Thank
that you
you.
managed to see him and meet him.
Yeah.
We could talk about this for the whole
I
episode,
know.
but there's so many other things I want to go to. But bravo,
Thank you.
It needs to be said.
Yeah.
It's not easy at all.
Yeah.
In addition to people, I'm fascinated about books because I think that they shape us. Can you suggest a book that has inspired you? I'm curating in season 10 now. I have such a long. I'll never run out of books
Ah,
after this podcast because I have such a long list
I love that.
from all my guests.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really in my book era
No.
also. So at the moment I'm reading Chimp Paradox.
Chimp?
Paradox. Yeah. Have
As
you
in
read it?
chimpanzees?
As in chimpanzee.
As in
yeah.
chimpanzees.
As in, I wish I brought it with me. I had it in
Chimp Paradox.
Chimp Paradox, yes.
Who is it by? What is it about?
I can't remember the author, but I've just started reading it. And I'm a very emotional human being. I always have been my whole life. When I'm sad, I'm really sad. When I'm happy, I'm really happy. You know, there's like no in between. I'm like that with my moral compass. There's right and there's wrong. There's no grey area. In my mind, it's how I've always been. Chimp Paradox teaches you that there's different parts of your brain, and one part they call the chimp and the other part is your human brain. And sometimes when something's going wrong in business or your partner's upset you or the kids are overwhelming, you can react with your chimp, which is the emotion and the fly off the handle, everything's wrong. Whereas if you understand your mind and you try to tone down the chimp part of the brain and re-engage into your human part of the brain, obviously they speak about it more scientifically than I'm speaking about it.
I'm going to find the name of this author.
Chimp Paradox.
Keep it going.
Yeah.
And it helps you manage that?
Your mindset, I guess. So it's funny actually because me and my children's father, we separated for 9 months and we're just at the moment talking about reconciliation. And the other day we had a discussion and I started getting really emotional. And I, in the middle of the conversation said, wait, hold on, this is the chimp. Let me just engage human brain. I don't need to overreact about this. I don't need to go down this. And also I don't want all of that cortisol and stress and anxiety going through my body.
But I've never realized that you could coin it. You could say,
coin it.
Oh, that's the chimp side. Like,
that's the chimp.
That's calm down. Because sometimes you think, I can't.
Yeah.
Like, you just have no control.
Yeah.
The author is Steve Peters, The Chimp Paradox, the Acclimate Mind Management Program to help you achieve success and confidence and happiness.
Yep.
So interesting. Steve Peters.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to add that to the list.
Yeah.
Move it up maybe.
Yeah.
I never thought of it that way, that we could have a side of us that needs management a bit more than another one.
I'm really into
interesting.
therapy. Yeah. And I think
interesting.
therapy is teaching me to just...
And have you found that it has helped you after you said 8 months, you had a bit of a time. Has it helped? Do you think? Or
I'm still on the journey.
You're still in the journey.
I'm still in,
But at least it's a journey. It's not an end. Like at least you're going through the notions and trying to figure it out.
100%. Yeah.
Absolutely. Again, that takes a lot of bravery.
Thank you.
Let's talk about your personal journey. I want our listeners to get to know you a little bit more. And one of the best ways is to go through your day and understand you as a person through your day.
Yeah.
So what's your day like? Like how, what's Khadija's typical day like?
It starts with the kids saying, Mummy, I want cereal. Can you get this? Can I have that? And I'm like, one eye open, like, okay. I'll always check my calendar. That's a new thing. I actually, for the last 10 years, have not used a calendar. I know this sounds so wild.
What do you mean?
I just haven't, I'm not even lying, not used a calendar. So I think I have ADHD, but I've never been clinically diagnosed.
What do you mean? How do you know when things are happening?
If it's important, I remember it. So, but recently I've started using a calendar because I'm a guest on many podcasts and there's lots of things happening in the UK and here. So I realized, Khadija, you're going to have to admit defeat here and start diarising your life. So now I check the calendar. But honestly, up until like a few months ago, never used a calendar. I'm just like, I'll remember. And I did remember. But then there were some times when I had something really important and I forgot. Oh. So I was like, yeah, you can't do that. It's a bit unprofessional.
I'm dyslexic and I have major number issues.
Yeah, it makes me scream inside.
I need it.
See, I'm like that with organisation.
I need it.
On spreadsheets. So I'm really organised at home. Really, everything has to be in its rightful place. In my car, I can't have mess. if you give me a spreadsheet that shows organization, my brain screams. Or if you show me a calendar and it's all blocked out like that, I'm like, oh, get it away from me. I would much rather somebody just said to me, Khadija, PA is the best thing for me. Khadija, you've got
You
this
have
at this
this,
time.
yeah.
So I've noticed that about myself, and I'm really on this like self-healing journey. Khadija, you can use a calendar, but maybe you can't use that calendar because the way that the blocks are on the calendar doesn't serve you.
Your mind doesn't click.
It doesn't click, yeah. And I always thought there was something wrong with me. Like, why a simple task?
You have a different way. I'll make you feel better. I have major anxiety, not anxiety. I get so nervous when I have to fill up a form.
Me too. I hate that.
I have,
but I outsource. I'm not filling in the form.
I have such a hard time.
Yeah.
When someone gives me a simple form.
Yeah.
I go.
I'm the same.
Shaking, and I mess up my name. Like I flip. Maybe you're dyslexic too. Maybe. So I really get anxious, and I hate saying this about myself, but I'm a sharp person.
Yeah.
But when I get a form, I lose half of my IQ. And it's just the type of form makes me nervous because I don't like numbers. And forms are mostly numbers.
And how long have we had to, as children, hide that flaw? I just remember having to pretend that it was all okay. Or I worked in a financial job, and it was the same task every day. The Financial Ombudsman Service, the same task, different case, same thing, same synopsis. And I remember looking at everybody, and everybody was so happy to do the same thing.
Yeah,
and I was inside like, I can't do this for any longer. Yeah. I need diversity. I need variety.
You might be dyslexic, by the way.
Maybe.
You might. There's a proper test you can take.
You know when you park your car and you have to scan the QR code to fill in? I get Simon, my kid's dad, to do it for me. I honestly take a photo of the QR, send it to him. He works in Saudi. Yeah. I send it to him and I say, can you do that? Because I can't. Just do that, please. Yeah, no, I don't want to do it.
We have different. For me, I am like the parking savant. Like I don't need to see the number. I will know exactly where it is just by looking at. Like I have a photographic memory. I can tell you the color of the floor and what's the first shop that you saw when you came out.
Oh.
And how many escalators you took up and down. So I have friends that call me when they're in Dubai Mall.
They're lost.
Raha, SOS, listen, I went to the movies, and when I came out, it was the popcorn store, and I did 3 escalators. Where is my car? And I go, green parking, 3 escalators down. Like,
wow,
really?
That's impressive.
No, really.
I've lost my car a few times, so I will call you. I will call you.
But don't ask me what number it is. I'll tell you what color and where the wind goes.
Yeah. Love that.
But I embraced it and I accepted it. And I think that's a big part of the journey is understanding what it is. Yeah. And it's not easy. And speaking of not easy, I know that days can get a bit overwhelming, and it can be, you have kids and you have job and you have so many things. What's your go-to? What's your me time go-to when you're overwhelmed and you're like, I just need a break? What's Khadija's, safe thing?
So it used to be a bath.
Okay.
Love a bath. But I've just moved house and I don't have a bath. So I'm going to have to switch that up. Or I'll do a hotel stay.
Okay.
For me.
Okay.
I stayed at the Sofitel downtown few months ago, and I got a room that just looked straight at the Burj Khalifa. And I sat there in a big chair, kind of like this, with my laptop. I just looked and I manifested wealth and happiness and zen. And yeah, I like to do that.
I love it. It's a very simple you time. It's not complicated. It's not very,
No.
It's not very lots of bells and whistles. You just need to, because I think some people don't know what their grounding is. They just don't know. They just
and the beach.
Yeah.
I have to
the beach, absolutely.
Feet in the sand, just there.
I feel bad for people who don't like the beach.
I know.
I really feel bad.
I know. And they moan about the sand on their feet.
I actually
give
like
it to me.
the feeling of the sand. I like the coarseness of the sand.
Yeah.
I need to be careful now because I started getting sensitive with the sun, but I really love the beach.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't have to be in the midday. You can go at sunset, You can, take some time off and just go and sit. It doesn't have to be like beach, you're burning your skin.
And my new hobby is paddle boarding.
Oh,
yeah,
that's very good.
I say new
for
hobby.
You.
I've done it 3 times, but I'm
that's
amazing.
Very good for your fitness.
I'm so good at paddle boarding. I've never fallen off. Touch wood, inshallah.
Mashallah.
I don't fall off. But you know where you just feel like Moana. I was just
Did you get to
there,
the
like,
point of standing up or not yet?
no, I stand up from the beginning.
What?
Yeah, I'm not even
That's
on the knees.
impressive.
The knees do not touch the paddleboard when I'm on the paddle.
Mashallah.
I
From the
know.
beginning?
That's it. I'm a pro.
Whoa.
Yeah, so I'm thinking about
No,
entering
I
some
ate
kind
it
of
a few
Olympic.
times. Like I have no balance. I just went boop many times.
So you teach me about the vision with the car park, and I'll teach you
Oh,
how
yeah.
to paddleboard.
Absolutely.
Deal.
Yeah, that's it. That's great. Absolutely. Would love that. Yeah. You mentioned your day and then we went off on a tangent, which I love, but let's go back and continue your day.
Okay.
So you have the kids, they wake you up, food, you put the kids to school, you go to school. What do you do?
No, they don't go to school. They're now homeschooled.
Oh,
Yeah. So actually, it's funny when someone asks me
that's
this.
so interesting.
I don't do a lot. Like, is that bad? Like,
No.
I've got 6 businesses, 3 kids,
No.
and I don't
Said
do a
the
lot.
woman who just said you don't do a lot.
Yeah, I
That's
don't
a
do
lot.
a lot. Yeah, I'm just really good at outsourcing. So I wake
Which
up
is a
in the
skill,
morning.
by the way.
Yeah, I wake up in the morning, chill with the kids. I've got 4 coffee shops with soft play in the UK called Full of Beans. I've got 38 staff there. That's managed by a manager. I'm in all the WhatsApp chats. So, part of my day will be responding or seeing what's going on. Again, I've only recently joined those in the last month. Since living in Dubai, I've not been part of them. I've let them run without me. And then I've got the global partnership, which I'm wearing here, which is business networking. So I was running monthly events in Dubai for business owners and professionals to network. Now we're about to launch an app, and then the events will start again in September after the summer because it's very hot here.
I love that you wore the shirt. Can you please just I'm going to
Yeah.
read it out loud.
Yeah.
Be the rich man your mom wanted you to marry.
Yeah.
I think this is something like be your own, the Prince Charming or hero in your story.
Yeah.
I absolutely believe that. That's how I lived my life.
Love that.
As well. Like I remember when I wanted to purchase my own place here in UAE, everybody was like, no, you need to wait. Your husband buys it for you. And I was like, what if the husband doesn't come?
Yeah.
What happens then?
Yeah.
Like, I need my home. I need my own. And everyone was like, how would you say that? Why would you? Everyone was like so shocked. Like, why would you even think that? I'm like, because it's a possibility. Thankfully now, and I have a lovely partner and I'm happy, but I still have my assets.
Yeah.
So absolutely be the rich man your mom wanted you to.
Yeah, and also
Yeah.
I've got daughters, right? I've got 3 daughters.
3, mashallah.
Yeah, 3. And so for me, it's really important that they grow up with independence. So just circling back, I promise I'll finish my day.
No, I love it. Very interesting.
Yeah, circling back. My mum, after she separated with my stepdad, who I mentioned, she went through a bit of a bad time with men. So she got married a few times and men didn't treat her right. Financially, she struggled in the UK. I grew up in a council house. Sometimes we had people come in and take our belongings. So from a very young age, I said to myself, one day I'm going to be rich. And I didn't understand what rich meant at the time. I just thought lots of money.
Yeah.
What I've now realized that rich means is the capability to look after those that I love.
Absolutely.
And I can do that with money, but also with love and time and freedom and quality of life. So a huge part of why I'm fiercely independent, despite, I've had 3 children and I've had a loving man who works very hard. I have always needed to earn my own money, buy my own things, be able to provide, because I was always worried that if somebody just left, maybe it's rejection issues with daddy issues or something, but I was always scared if a man leaves, then I'm going to be left with nothing.
But it takes a certain type of woman to take this negative experience and negativity to turn it into power.
Yeah.
Because some women don't. Some women are like, I was always badly treated. I always depended on a man. That's how it's always going to be, rather than I don't ever want to feel like I need someone.
Yeah.
So it can break you or make you.
Yeah.
Like that's what I find fascinating. That's what makes people, the difference between the people who make it and the people who get, pushed down. So it takes, a testament to you and as a person that you didn't let that affect you in a negative way. And you're like, no, I will have wealth, which is safety.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily just money.
Yes.
Safety of having my own income and my own leg to stand on.
Yeah.
And I won't wait. And then you build your life based on a negative thing.
Yeah.
So
And I've got 2 sisters, my mum, 3 daughters, my brother, Cassim,
all women.
all women.
All the boys.
So I feel that beacon, like I have to empower them.
Clearly.
But sorry, I went off again.
No.
Day,
you
what do I
deserve
do
it.
in
You
the
deserve
day?
it. You deserve to talk about it because it needs to be mentioned.
Thank you.
Bravo. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Well, yesterday I took the kids to Ras Al Khaimah
Okay.
because now I'm an ambassador for Rove Hotels. Again, I think if you're authentic and you share your true self and you build your personal brand, great companies like Rove and Grosvenor House and other companies in the UK, they want to work with you. So actually, I took my kids yesterday. We had a lovely staycay. That was on a Sunday. And now they're homeschooled. So today they have my friend Alex at home homeschooling them. They do online homeschooling, but I realized that when you homeschool, your children don't listen to you. Yeah, I didn't know that. I thought I would say, come on, girls, sit down. Here's the textbooks. And they'd go, thank you, teacher mummy. It didn't work like that. They know, no, I don't want to. I want to go on my iPad. I want to do. So I now have a friend that comes twice a week and she sits and does the work with them.
Yeah.
And then what will I do when I'm done here? Well, I have actually got some work I need to do. We're launching our app. So I'm going to pop off to a coffee shop and take some calls. I keep the calls minimal. I don't like to be on too many calls, but if they're important, I have to take them. Do some admin, post on LinkedIn because that's like my number one thing that I have to do every day or every other day. All of my investment in my businesses, most of my business connections have come from either in-person networking or LinkedIn. So on a daily basis, kids, LinkedIn, jump in the WhatsApp groups, have a few calls, but I try to avoid them as much as possible. Come and be a guest on wonderful podcasts like this. And I kind of, if I want to have loads of meetings or work really hard that day, I will. And if I want to take the kids for a day in Ras Al Khaimah, I will.
But you built that kind of flexibility with
have.
hard work. You've built that kind of being able to have passive income where you can sit and you can have this, which is, again, very important for women to realize that you really need to have a plan when it comes to what you do and your life, not just to sit and wait for someone to sweep off your feet. Yes, it's nice, it's amazing, but what if it doesn't? Before I take a break, can you explain to us what you do? You do something very interesting in your calls. Can you explain what is the thing to help you move and help you stay moving while you're having calls?
Oh, yes. So I recently bought a walking mat and a standing desk, and it is a game changer. I've lost quite a lot of weight, 16 kg actually, in the last, I'd say 18 months, maybe just under. For several reasons, but one of the biggest things is that I've just started walking more and being healthier. And a lot of the time I want to be at home because the kids are homeschooled. I have a nanny, but I want to be the one raising my child or my children. So I'm at home. I need to work. I need to get exercise in. I don't always want to go swimming.
It. You're doing
so
two in one. You're exercising and you're walking.
Yeah.
I bet you that you don't feel the walking as much because you're focused on the call.
Yeah.
And also you're getting in the steps in with, in a way in the same time as getting work done.
Yeah, but now I dance on it also.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I put the music on and I'm just like doing a little dance routine on the walking mat. Like, why not?
Do you think that has helped in your weight loss journey? Do you think that walking and, kind of changing your routine has had a big impact?
Yeah, and you just think like how, if you've got a busy day of work and sometimes, I know I said I try to be free or whatever, but sometimes I have full on days. How many hours are we sitting? That's just not good for you.
Most of the day.
It's just not
Most
good
of the
for
day,
you. I know.
yeah.
So I'm really going through like this self-healing where I'm like exercise, drink more water, electrolytes, magnesium at nighttime, not putting anything in my body like medicine if I can avoid, trying to go through herbal and natural routes, cutting out gluten, trying not to have too much dairy or too much like meat and stuff. So yeah, I don't know what's happened to me. I never used to be like this.
No,
but I'm really going through, I'm evolving.
You've evolved.
Yeah.
You've realized that there are things that you need to, cut down and work on.
Yeah.
I'm the type of person that doesn't believe in drastic cuts or drastic diet. I don't believe in that.
No.
I think that causes you more stress and you might come back worse. I believe in being moderate and being fair to your body, but also not being gluttonous.
Yeah.
Like if you want something that you really, really want, you can have some of it.
Yes.
But not all the time.
Yeah.
It will help suppress, the need if you want like a sugar rush or whatever. But you should have the control to not make it a bad habit. So, but this complete cold turkey cutting thing doesn't work for me at all.
No, me either.
Yeah,
It's got to be a lifestyle change.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and get a walking mat and a standing desk. Game changer.
I like this idea.
Yeah.
I like having a walk in, your day, most of it spent walking.
I will show you my dancing videos as well. It's
Please
very
do.
easy to dance.
Show me
on
the
a
break. We're
walking
going to
mat.
go on a break now. I would love to see it. I love to take a moment for a little bit of me time. And right now, let's take a quick break to say a huge thank you to London Dairy for their support of this series of the Quality of Life podcast. Because London Dairy ice cream is all about giving us little moments of joy and relaxation. If you'd like to do the same, the link is in the show notes. Now, let's get back to the show. We talked about the good, the freedom, but there's a lot that goes into this. There's a lot that goes into you being able to be financially free to have the freedom that you discussed. So, what do you think is the biggest challenge you faced in this journey? And what's advice you'd give to someone?
Hmm.
And take us through the whole thing. Like, how did it come about?
Yeah. Well, so I actually fell into entrepreneurship. I studied law at university. I worked for the Financial Ombudsman Service near Canary Wharf, and I always wanted to go down the corporate route. Then I had my first daughter, who's going to be 11 on the 11th of June, mashallah. And unfortunately, she was born starved of oxygen with brain damage. So she was in intensive care for 10 days and she was at risk of cerebral palsy. So she was part of a big trial in the UK called the Xenon trial, and they gave her gas and they cooled her brain down. But when I was due to go back to the Financial Ombudsman Service, and it was a great, I keep mentioning it because it was such a great company to work for. Yes, some of the tasks were quite repetitive, but they really upskilled you, full pay, maternity pay, and all of the benefits of working for a civil service company in the UK. So it was a really big decision for me to leave. But when I was due to go back, she was 6 months old, 9 months old maybe. And we still had a specialist coming from London to check her mobility skills. And I worked out the cost of getting the train from Peterborough to London. It was like an hour and a half. The cost of childcare, the fact that I wouldn't be around. And I just quit. And I didn't know what I was going to do, but I knew I needed to have money. So I Googled a cheap business to start, and I started a cleaning business with £20. I got £20 worth of cleaning products from local Wilkinsons, and I printed out some leaflets. I started delivering them around houses. I used a 3-door Polo that Simon had when he was 18 that was in his dad's garage. And I bought a Hoover, a Hetty Hoover on a catalogue because I couldn't afford to buy it outright. And I just started cleaning. And I cleaned houses, and I took Soraya with me in her car seat. So I could be a mum, but I could also have a business. I could earn money. And then I applied for The Apprentice, which is a huge business show in the UK. And by the time I went on The Apprentice, that cleaning business had 30 staff. We'd won awards. We were eco-friendly. We had a fleet of electric vehicles. And I went on The Apprentice. I made it to the finals. I came 4th out of 16 people, but 60,000 people applied for the show. It was like a business boot camp. I was on, you have to go away. So I was away from my kids. At that point, I had 2. And The Apprentice really kind of showed me what was possible in entrepreneurship. I had been playing it small. I was really stressed out. I didn't really know what I was doing because I just fell into entrepreneurship. Fast forward to after The Apprentice, I closed that cleaning business down. So I just had this gut feeling that it was making minimal profit. It was hard work. It was a logistical nightmare. My cleaning teams would turn up at the house and the customer hadn't left the key, and then I'd have to pay them, and then the customer wasn't there. It was anxiety inducing. It was stressful. And so I closed it down completely. And everybody expected, because I'd just been a finalist on The Apprentice, that I should be a multi-millionaire and my business is going to take over. It was a huge moment of eating humble pie for me to say, it didn't work. And what am I going to do now? So for 18 months after the show aired and millions of people had watched it, and I got so many messages of people saying, Khadija, you were so real and da-da-da. I thought, what do I do? So I started working with a property company, basically in their sales team. And one of the men that was hosting a Grant Cardone event, he said to me, literally, I've been working there 2 weeks. He said, wow, look at you with your headset on. You were in Lord Sugar's boardroom a few weeks ago, and now you're here, a cool girl. And I remember like, I feel sick. What am I doing?
Sometimes
Why am I here?
the most painful comment is the one that sets
The
you
best.
free?
It was the best. It was because I looked at him and his short self and his blonde hair, and I thought, one day I'm going to be richer than you.
Oh,
One day I'm going to,
you
and
get
you're
it.
going to ask me to be at your speaking on your stage. And it was fuel. You know, I felt sick. I went home, I cried. I felt like a failure. What am I doing? I don't know. Working with that property company really helped me because I created a podcast called Keep It Real with Khadija. I interviewed some amazing guests. I generated £100,000 in the first year of that podcast. And to me, that was like, wow, £100,000 as just
amazing.
me, not £100,000 I have to pay 30 staff, just £100,000 for Khadija. And then after that, I was dropping the kids to school and I saw an empty unit near their school, a retail unit. And I thought there needs to be a coffee shop with soft play, because in the UK and kind of in Dubai also, there's these huge 5,000 square foot soft plays, or there's a coffee shop. There's nothing in between.
So a parent can put the child in.
Yeah, but
Okay.
it's cooler, it's comfier, there's charging ports, good food, no fried food, good Wi-Fi, no, all of them things. So I opened one, and then COVID happened. We closed for 7 months, and then I opened more, and now I own 4. One in Wembley, which is really exciting. It's our first one in London. And I launched the global partnership because I've realized I'm a community-based entrepreneur. I'm good at getting people together and I'm good at making people feel good. And my integrity and my honesty and my values and the fact that I want everybody to win, I think it shines through when people meet me.
You have a very giving aura.
Thank you.
No, absolutely. When you sat in, you're giving with your time and with your presence. Actually, just last night, I was talking to someone who was thinking of doing a coffee thing here. So I'm going to definitely connect you.
Yes, let's bring full
Just
of beans.
last night, we were discussing, a friend of mine was asking about coffee information. I'm like, I have no idea. And then you sit in this chair and you have Full of Beans, which is 4 locations? 4 locations
In the UK.
mashallah, in
And
the
we've
UK.
just done the trademark in the UAE.
Amazing.
So we are trademarked Full of Beans with Bouncing Beans soft play frames.
Fantastic.
And yeah, basically to create like community hubs, you know. When you go to these soft play centres, it's so noisy and overstimulating. When you go to a coffee shop, the kids get bored. So I wanted to create something that was that happy medium. And we've got the
It's a niche that's
trademark.
needed. There's something that's missing in there. Yeah.
I think so.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mashallah, you've been named
you.
100 most influencer female leaders here in the Middle East this year. Mashallah, that's amazing.
Thank you. I know.
It's incredible, well deserved.
Thank you.
What do you think is the biggest misconception?
About being a leader?
Yeah, in your journey, what's something that people don't understand or, you know?
I'm actually writing a book called Underestimate Me, Please. Because when I,
love your names.
because when I applied for The Apprentice, you have to speak to a psychologist or psychiatrist.
Really?
I can't remember. Yeah, it's a really lengthy audition process. And I remember telling her everything I'm telling you about my dad and my life and this and my mum and da-da-da. And she looked me square in the eye and she said, Khadija, people will underestimate you. And my whole life, because maybe I don't talk in such an articulate way, or because I came from a council house, or because I didn't come from a affluent background, people really do underestimate me. And because I never tried to be the smartest in the room, I'm not trying to get all the attention. I don't really do cringy things, you know, like I'm just there. I'm just Khadija. And alhamdulillah, people kind of are attracted to that. I keep it real. And I think that's the reason why opportunities come to me. And I have faith and gratitude. I'm forever grateful
And
for
I think
everything.
deep down, Khadija, you're a hard worker. Like you have that ethic and you have that sense of, I need to work and it's not given to me. Like I can get that from your story. Like I need to work.
Yeah.
Like in order for me to get to where I need to go. I need to, you know, and that's, again, it's something that people don't realize. It doesn't come on a gold plate. You have to put the time, the grind, put the time in, and just you're a go-getter, and it's very obvious, and I admire that. Mashallah, you have such a diverse experience background with so many things. How does your business life intersect with your personal life, like with wellness? Like how do you manage that? How do you manage these two things? Because it can get overwhelming. Yeah. The video you showed me is a great example of what you do, but what's another example of, you know, how do you handle it when it gets a bit tough?
I mean, burnout is real. Yeah. It is real.
Jinx.
You know, people say there's balance. Is there really balance? Like, I think you can try.
We're all guilty of it.
Yeah.
Like, we all burn out in different ways, I think. But I always say this on the podcast, is that, you if you try to if you try to cut the corners will cut you. You must be able to have a good temperature and a good gauge of burnout, because ignoring it is a habit that a lot of people do. Like, just putting it in the back of your mind is so dangerous, because it's gonna hit you.
Yeah.
Like,
it did hit me, actually. I ended up in hospital here.
Oh, wow.
The worst panic attack I ever had. So I completely agree with what you're saying. And my thing is, I listened to a podcast recently. Emma agreed with Stephen Bartlett, and she said there is no balance. And that's what I've come to terms with. If I want to be a successful entrepreneur and a hands-on mum, I have to merge the two.
I think it's time management more than anything.
Time management, yeah. But there is no like I find it difficult to manage. I can lead, but I can't manage team members because the mindset of start at 9 and finish at 5, I do not understand.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't understand. And then they frustrate me.
But you can set up how it would work if 100 people are doing a job. Like, you work differently.
I can lead. Karen Brady said that, actually, from The Apprentice. She said,
Really?
You're either a leader or a manager. I'm a leader. I can't manage.
How do you know the difference?
Because I think if you have... I think to be able to manage people that have that mindset, and I'm not going to say it's a small mindset. It's not a small mindset, because everybody's entitled to their. But the way I work, first thing in the morning, one eye open, send in an email 6 a.m., have a break during the day, and then work. Be dreaming about work, wake up about work, and doing this with the kids. I don't have much in common with people that work 9 till 5, and I don't understand that mindset. It's not a them issue, it's a me issue. I don't get it, because I don't have balance. There is no clock on, clock off. I'm always on, you know?
You just have to know what's your strength.
I have to know when I get to burnout.
Yeah.
So what I'll do is I'll be always on, and I'm naturally hyperactive. And then as I feel burnout creeping in, Khadija,
But have you not noticed how you've learned how to detect burnout?
Yeah.
Because I didn't know before. Because I also last year went into horrible burnout. I was sick the whole year except November, December.
Oh,
really.
sorry.
I was sick from December to October.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Can you imagine? And then I was always like, I don't know why I'm sick. And then I look at my schedule. I'm like, Raha, girl, you know why you're sick. Like you shot in Iceland, and then you went to the US, and then you came back and shot in Riyadh, and then you went back to the like. You know exactly why you're sick. So it took me time to be honest with myself.
Yeah.
Again, please, my dear listeners and viewers, learn what it means that you are at the end of your battery. Don't hit that wall.
Yeah. Do you know
recognize it?
Yeah. My symptoms now are physical. When something's getting to me, my lips start to go numb.
Oh.
My hands start to tingle. And I'm like, oh, here it goes. And it's a panic attack.
Yeah.
And I can feel it. And I go, okay, Khadija, relax, read a book, calm down, have a bath. Okay, tomorrow you're not doing anything. You're going to calm. And it shouldn't get to that point that I'm at that physical reaction. So don't do what I'm doing.
Yeah, don't do what we're doing.
Don't do that. Have more time for yourself.
My tummy. I don't know if it's the same. Me, my tummy. My tummy just doesn't like it. Like I have issues with my tummy whenever I overdo.
Yeah.
Everything else can work fine. I could look great, but my tummy would be really, really bad. So I have to learn.
And I think just surround yourself with people. That's why I created the Global Partnership, is if you surround yourself with other people that are working as hard as you, that aren't really having time off, that have a family to raise and are hustling, you almost feel you're not alone.
I'm going to add one more thing to that.
Yeah.
Someone you can trust in that circle.
Someone you can trust. And a problem shared is actually a problem halved.
Not people that are necessarily, there because you don't... they're there because you're working together. Someone that you can trust to be honest, an honest mirror. Because there are some people around you that...
Yes, men.
Yes.
Don't have yes men.
That just consistently say that. So more of the story, know your limits, know where you are. Work your butt off in order for you to have the freedom, like Khadija mentioned in the beginning of the
But not too much that you end up having a panic attack.
Exactly.
Like work your butt off,
work
but also have lots of spa days.
Work your butt off, but not off the cliff. Like work your butt off so that you can have a good established, especially women, have an established income or anything that can be a blanket.
Yeah.
But in the same time, be kind to yourself. Don't be too harsh.
But I actually do. I feel sorry for, like I am saying, for women, because what I don't want to happen, I don't want women to look at me and think I've got to work as hard as Khadija, or I've got to.
Everyone has their own journey, Khadija.
Like
Everyone.
this doesn't have to be someone's happiness. Like, I don't want women to feel inferior because they're a stay-at-home mum and they don't work.
Maybe
that's great for you.
Maybe that's their thing.
Honestly, that's really something that hits the nerve with me, because I think people look to me and they go, oh, well, Khadija's doing this and Khadija's doing that. We should do the same. Absolutely, categorically not. I clearly have ADHD. I need to spin lots of plates to feel fulfilled, but not everybody needs to spin those plates to feel fulfilled.
They can be inspired by the story and have their own journey.
Please.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Just don't burn yourself out because you think that that's what society is expecting you to do. No. I do it because I find enjoyment in being a hustler. I find enjoy. You know, I went for a phase where I was a stay-at-home mum and my mental health was the worst because I need projects. I need identity.
Everyone has their thing. Like, you don't copy. Just find what works for you.
Find your thing, and just don't feel pressured by society to have to follow everyone else.
Absolutely. Khadija, really, I think we should have episode 2 with Khadija because she's so interesting. You have such an interesting story and journey. But before I let you go, I have this is a new concept that we're doing for the podcast. Fire bullet questions.
Okay.
Answer one word. Okay. Or if the thing you want is multiple words.
No, we'll do one word.
Whatever comes to mind.
Okay.
Don't take it too seriously.
Okay.
But if you want, you can be deep. Okay.
No, I love this.
Ready?
Yeah.
If you were a fruit, what would you be?
Melon.
See?
I don't even think I would be a melon.
See?
I don't know why I said that.
It's such an interesting. Yeah. You don't know. Melon. I like that. Okay. Mountain or beach?
Beach.
Me too. Even though I'm a mountain climber.
Yeah.
Don't tell them. Early bird or night owl?
Night owl.
Really? Interesting.
Hate early mornings.
I thought you would be a morning person.
No, that's why I homeschool the kids so I don't have to do the school run.
I love the honesty. A word that defines you.
Hustler.
Yeah. In the most positive sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hustler with heart.
With a heart.
That's what I call them.
Absolutely.
Hustlers with heart.
Yeah. In the most authentic way.
Yeah.
Introvert or extrovert? I think I know this.
Well, no. Extrovert around people I like. Introvert around people I don't.
Okay. You're like me. I'm an
I love you. Look at me. I
omnivert.
haven't stopped talking.
I like you too. Like an omnivert, I think.
Yeah, that's it.
Someone told me you're an omnivert, Raha.
Yeah.
Okay, so omnivert.
Yeah.
What's your mantra?
Live life like others won't, to have the life that others can't.
I love that. Did you write that?
No.
Yeah.
But I should say that I did.
But you live it.
Live life
you
how others
embodied it.
won't, to have the life that others can't. Yeah.
Brilliant. This is why I was laughing earlier in the episode. What's your superpower? Earlier I was laughing about my parking scheme, my memory.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I think my superpower is, even though I'm not clinically diagnosed, having ADHD. I find it really exciting to do multiple diverse different things.
Super layered.
Yeah, and I love it. I love spinning all the plates. I love being busy. I love culture, and so ADHD.
Nice. What would your autobiography be titled?
Underestimate me, please.
Brilliant. Khadija, you've been such a pleasure. Thank you so much for sharing your journey, proving that you can start anywhere and get to where you dream as long as you have grit, determination, and a lot of hustle.
Yeah, a lot of hustle. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Quality of Life podcast, hosted by me, Ram Harrag, and produced by Pineapple Audio Productions. Please do follow us and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And keep listening every Friday morning and Tuesday for our mini bonus episodes. Before we wrap up and Khadija starts her Sunday, I wanted to take a moment to say a huge thank you to London Dairy for their support on this series of the Quality of Life podcast. Because London Dairy is... Go ahead. London Dairy's ice cream is all about little moments of joy and relaxation. And now we're going to make our own favorite ice cream. Khadijah's going all out. To relax and just enjoy and have fun. If you want to do the same, please go to the link in the episodes to have yours. See you next time.